Hey everyone, this is our Lagotto Romagnolo. She's almost 6 months old, and in this video I'll show you how I cut her hair. The standard is round head, shorter body, longer legs, and a carrot-shaped tail. And the only two deviations that I prefer is a slightly shorter body than what you would probably see in a show. The curls and just the length of the hair is too much for the beach and the sand, so we shave her down just a bit more than what you would normally do because of that reason, but it does reduce some of the curls, which is a bummer. And then the carrot-shaped tail is really not something that I'm 100% into, so I leave her tail longer. But this is the, I guess, third or fourth time that I have cut her. The first time, no lie, I'm bleeding after cutting her, but after about 4 times now, and here we are almost at 6 months, you can see she's so much better. Anyway, if you're watching this video, it's a long one. You definitely want to see the whole process, so rather than edit this one down, I just left all of it. I'll take you through actually cutting her twice because I did try to leave it longer during this video because we just really love those curls, but when my wife took a look at her, she said her head's too small, her body's too big, she looks funny. So I bring her back into the bathroom and take her down about another ½ inch. But in this video, you'll see me do everything. Cut all her hair, give her a bath. There's actually a little bit of pool zoomies and swimming in here. And then I bring her back in and do her face and ears with scissors and those thinning scissors. I don't know what they're called, but I'll show them to you. I do her nails. I don't do her ears, but I show you what I do cut in her ears. And I hope you enjoy the video, and if this is something that you're thinking about doing, it's about $150 a shot most places to get her groomed. You'll easily pay for the vacuum and the scissors and everything, probably in 2 cuts. And I think it builds a really great relationship with the dog. You definitely touch every part of her body and, desensitizes the dog to just, really being submissive. Especially with a high-strung personality like this one. Some Lagottos are really kind of timid. She is not seemingly scared of anything. As you can see here, she doesn't mind the vacuum, doesn't mind the noise, doesn't mind the nail grinder. But we've really worked with her quite a bit to get her to this point. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll just kind of call out some pointers throughout the video of what I'm doing, and then I do show you the equipment at some point here over the next hour. So if you're watching, thank you. Please subscribe. I will create a playlist here for her, and I plan on posting a bunch of videos of what it's like having a Lagotto Romagnolo over the first 6 months. So thanks always for watching, and here we go. So as I mentioned, I'm just leaving it all in here. She ran away, I don't know, 25 times during this 2.5 to 3 hour haircut. And here I'm trying to get her butt done. A little bit later in the video, I do show you her butt outside. I take it down to the 1/4 inch setting, but it's just a test in patience. Like I said, this is the 4th time, pretty sure, that we're cutting her, or that I'm cutting her. And you can see just after a while, she calms down and lets me shape the hair around her butt there. And that's the whole process. The first time she did this, I was bleeding. I mean, she was just gnawing away at my hands. But I'd give her treats during the entire time. In fact, it's mostly kibble. She thinks they're treats, but they're mostly just kibble. And every once in a while, I rotate in a real treat just to kind of mix it up and keep her interested. But, here's pass number 2, trying to get her butt done. And if you're wondering about her puppy fur, she will be 6 months exactly in another week. So this is how long it took to get rid of all of that puppy fuzz. And the only puppy fuzz that was left was right around the base of her tail. And you'll see I thin all that out with those shearing scissors. It's the scissors that have all the little teeth. That's actually one of the last things I do because I didn't realize it and until I took her for a walk after I had cut her twice. But this is how this goes. The entire video is basically treats, trying to pin her down, treats, trying to pin her down. I do jump all over her body depending on what she will let me do and where she seems calm in what position at the moment. So you can see here I jumped over to her chest, and this is the longest comb on the in the assortment of 4 combs that comes with this vacuum. In a little while I give you a close-up of the vacuum. It's so easy to clean. It's really unbelievable. I use it on the high setting the entire time because I really want to suck the hair in. But here I decided to just kind of start shaping her face a little bit around the bottom of her chin. And then I'll switch back over to maybe her feet or her legs. Any opportunity that I can get, depending on her position, I just try to take advantage of that and get a little bit more haircut. You can hear noises in the background, like right there. She's, as I'm doing this voiceover, of course she's playing. I'm throwing her chicken for her, and she's dragging her horn on the tile and making all kinds of noise. Anyway, I do this on the floor because I find it's just easier. I've talked to a couple people about this, and they prefer a table, but I don't have a table, and this just works for me. You could probably do it wherever you want. But you can see I don't use a chain to tie her up or anything. I just take my time. I mentioned 2.5 to 3 hours. So that I probably started this at 7:30 in the morning, finished up around 10:30, and the reason why it takes so long is because number one, I'm not in a rush, and number two, in this case, I actually cut her twice, as I mentioned. And that also includes a bath, and then she went in the pool. So, and we went for a short walk. So all that is incorporated into that 3 hours. I would assume that over time this will get faster, but I'm also a little OCD, so I don't like any lines. I like to blend her, as you can see here. And the technique here is just really pulling the comb through the hair and then lifting the comb away from her where you get to an area that you want to be thicker, like her legs, and I just blend it right at her shoulder point. And because she's curly, it's unbelievably forgiving, meaning right now I'm doing all of this dirty. I haven't given her a bath yet. Oh, there we go. The horn just hit the tile. Anyway, I do all of this dirty first because there's really no point in washing her first. She gets a bath once a week, and it just seems easier to do this in stages because she'll lose interest and get really squirmy. And so the bath in between really helps. And then it also fluffs up her fur. So when you do another session of clipping, for me anyway, it just seems to really work out to just get her body done give her a bath, and then come back and blend her legs and really work on her face. She's also much more exhausted after the bath, so that helps her to just calm down and just lay. Here I'm doing around her private parts. This is the shortest of all the combs, and I just buzz everything under here. It helps to keep her cleaner, and she does like itch at it or lick at it for a couple days after I do this. So I think the hairs are just kind of poking her, but that only lasts for a couple days, and then she's totally fine. Actually, not even a couple days. This was on Sunday, and it's about 5 in the morning on Tuesday, and she's already totally fine in that whole area. But the first time I took her for a walk after her bath, after the haircut, she was fussing around her private area as we were walking down the street. And I just stopped. I don't worry about it anymore. Like I said, within a day or two, it's totally fine. If you notice, I let her smell the scissors. I always try to show her what I'm about to use. I let her sniff it, see that it's fine. I give her a treat. And whenever I move to a new area, she'll do this, like fussing. Here's just a few more treats. That was probably a real treat versus kibble. But every time I switch to a different area, for instance, when I want to switch to her private area, she fusses for a while until she calms down. Now I'm doing her ears, and she's doing this. And you just got to be patient, give her a lot of love, and talk. I talk to her through the whole thing, try to be encouraging. I don't ever get, angry or I don't ever force her into anything. And you'll see here, finally, she's come to the point where I can cut her ears. Now, I have to say that I cut her ears really short to get that round head, and these are unbelievably sharp scissors. I'll put the link down below, but if I accidentally got some of her ear, I would literally cut her skin right through. So I am very careful to squeeze her skin between my fingers so that I would cut myself before I cut her. And that's just really I keep those scissors, I'm just very careful because they are shockingly sharp. And it takes, 5, 6, 7 tries before the perfect combination of her holding still and my fingers in the right place. Also, I let that vacuum run all the time, even when I'm using the scissors, because you can see throughout this entire thing, I will vacuum up hair. And I also want to make sure that she's really comfortable around that noise. That's another reason why I just let the vacuum run. She doesn't seem to be bothered by it. And if you noticed there, I took the vacuum and kind of held it up to her skin, like right here. I'm just sucking the hair. And I want to work to get her completely desensitized to that vacuum sound and the suction feeling, whether it's around her ears or her eyes even. You'll see later in the video, I take the buzzer and just hit it right between her eyes. Takes quite a while to get her to hold still, but each time we do this, it gets better and better. So I don't really give you a lot of detail here on cutting her ears, but the best way I can describe it is the back of her ear is longer than the front of her ear, and I try to shape it along her jawline. So it's about 2 to 3 inches above her jaw, but the front of her ear is significantly shorter than the back of her ear, and that gives you that contour that leads right into her jaw and creates that round shape. I mentioned doing it on the floor. holding her between my legs like this, for me, works really good. If you had a bigger dog, probably wouldn't work so well, maybe. But this just seems, she seems, you know, to feel comfortable, and I can really use my thighs to control her. At some point during the video, you may see I'll flip her over, and literally her head is by my feet if I'm working on her hips or her tail, and it works really good to kind of pin her down. If she starts to squirm or feel threatened, or there's like some kind of anxiety happening, I let her up real quick. But it does seem to help me to control her. And yes, she has scratched my legs up pretty bad early on. In fact, even during this video, she scratched my legs, but you know, slowly we'll get there. Anyway, here I'm buzzing her face. I took the opportunity here. This is the 1/4 inch clipper, and the way I do her face is I just give her one hit right up her nose and up between her eyes, and then I shape her eyebrows, or her outer eye area. I shape that more with the scissors, but I do a pass directly over her eyes with the clippers and the vacuum going, and it takes a while. You'll see it in a minute, and I'm so happy when it's done, and I know that she can tell that I'm so happy because obviously her face is really probably the most important part of the whole haircut, because that really is what gives all the look of the personality and everything. But this is just slowly. I know you can see her teeth there, and that looks a little violent maybe, but it really isn't. This is how she plays. But once I get her pinned down, I can hit those eyes, and you'll see I do it real quick. Right here, there. So one swipe right up the middle, and then I'm really happy. And then here in a minute, I think I do the 2 passes over each of her eyes. I wanted to point out here that normally I give her a treat and I grab her. Every once in a while, I give her a treat and purposely I don't grab her, because I don't want her to associate the treat with the grabbing. So once again, test and patience, but I would recommend doing that. It seems to, she seems to get used to treat, like, see here, treat, then grab her. I make a point not to do that every single time. Stop. Okay. That's okay. Good girl. Hey, wait. Wait. Stop. Hey, good girl. Hey, stop. Good girl, let's go. Good girl. So this is how long it took to get her to hold still long enough to hit those eyes. And you blend it exactly the same way that you do her thighs, just a little bit faster. And you can see what I'm doing when I pull the clipper away. I'm making sure that I don't cut the top of her head. And then we celebrate, and all I really did was just the area where her eyes are. It's really super simple once you get her still enough. All that was dirty dog. And I got this much hair off of her. Now I've cut her where this is full, and I've taken her body down to one more clip. And I decided not to this time because I really like her curls. It might be a pain at the beach. She might fill up with sand, but she might not, so we're just gonna see. Her face, she finally let me hit her eyes with the clipper. So I've got to clip this little spot right there in between her eyes, and then you can see on the left side, right over here, this side needs to be trimmed up. I might do that with scissors. Her head, right around her ear here, has to be trimmed up. And then see how this ear has a nice curve to it? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So this top part of her head here needs to be shaped, and then this ear is looking pretty good because of the way her hair grows. This other ear I'm gonna have to shape. But in order to do the finishing touches, I'm gonna give her a bath. And to get her good and tired, I'm gonna let her get in the pool. So, wanna get in the pool? Let's go. Come on. Well, you might say this is an incredible amount of work, but it helps her to let me touch her and get her completely desensitized. It gets better every time. And she used to fight me on everything. Everything, absolutely everything. Now you can see she's pretty calm for her body. Takes a little coaxing, but you know, around her private area, she lets me do that with some treat reinforcement. And then we're just down to her face really being the problem, but I'll get her there. And the more tired she is, obviously, the better it goes. I could just give her to a groomer, but based on how she treats me, it would be so traumatizing that, hey, get out from back there. Come on. Wanna go in the back? Wanna go in the back? It'd be so traumatizing that, number one, why put her through that? Number two, it's like $150 to, nope, that's this morning's poo. I haven't picked that up yet. Come here. Give it a good smell. Come on. Anyway, her, I lost my train of thought. Well, let's get her in the pool, and then we'll pick it back up after a bath. Just wanted to show you her butt. I just gotta make it like she's not paying attention, because this is what we do. We pick up all the crap in the yard that has blown around that she's gonna put in her mouth. And hold on, there we go. Now, that's her butt. Whoop. She's not gonna, there we go. So, that's what her butt looks like. And I try to get it so that you don't have like, I know it's kind of weird, but you don't want it to be skin, right? You just see, nice and clean. She's probably gonna poop, so I'll spare you from that, but that's what I'm going for. Nice clean look. She's got her tail up most of the time, so not too short, but not a lot of hair that can get poo on it. Go get it. Go get it. Good girl. Really interesting thing about these dogs. I've never had a dog that just seems to like to swim. She's playing with the toy again on the tile during the voiceover. I'll show it to you in a minute. Anyway, she just likes to swim. That's it. She doesn't particularly like to get the ball, although at the end of the video, she did get me one of the ducks, and she brought it to me for the first time. So maybe that'll become a thing, but She loves to run around out here. She just right through the water, right out of the water, and
Oh,
loves to just swim. And almost seems buoyant. You'll see later in the video, I get really nervous when she is just swimming around in the middle of the pool. But it's almost effortless. It's like if she stopped swimming, she would just float like an otter or something. And you'd think after being in the pool for a good 2 minutes of just nonstop swimming back and forth that she'd be tired. No, she doesn't even seem tired. I've never had a dog that swims for the purpose of swimming as opposed to retrieving. But anyway, it's been fun. It can be a little bit of a pain sometimes if we're late, we got to let her out. We put her on a leash because sometimes she gets in the pool when we're not expecting it, and now we have a wet dog to deal with. But small price to pay. You done? You done? You want to go inside? Come here. This is our outdoor shower area. And by the way, if you want to see the video of me building all of this, I built the whole outdoor kitchen. I put this outdoor shower area in. And there's a whole video series in my playlists called Outdoor Kitchen. Please check it out. But anyway, this has been a great space to give her a bath. I bought that bench specifically for bathing the dogs. Both my kids have dogs, and they are always over here in the pool, at the beach, on the boat. And I always have really great soap that smells really great, and the kids like to take home clean dogs. So this has become, just the bathing area for all three of them. I use this product by Animal Pharmaceuticals. Just go to animalpharmaceuticals.com. And I also put a ear thing in, ear flush, ear wash every single time. And it just keeps her ears nice and fresh and keeps that hair growing in the right direction, it seems. And that's the bath routine. So this is the middle of the haircut, pretty much, and we're about to go back inside and blow dry her. Wait until you see this blow dryer.
This is the best blow dryer for a dog I've ever seen. You could use this thing to blow out your garage. I made a video on it, just the blow dryer. I'll put the link in the comments, maybe up above here, but this is the best investment of a dog blow dryer. If you have a dog that gets in the pool, we actually bought 2 of these things. I keep one outside so that we can just plug it in and blow dry her. It's fantastic. Unbelievably powerful for its size. And like I've said a number of times, if Dyson made a blow dryer, this thing would be it. It's made by a company called Jellyfish. This looks like the only product Jellyfish sells. I don't know why Dyson doesn't just buy them, but I'm very happy with it. Here I'm just doing her ears again, and I'm using a combination of the thinning shears and the regular scissors. These are the thinning shears, and I'm just trying to take off the little bit of hair that is now visible because she's wet to reshape the hair on top of her ear. So it's not really the line under her ear. It's, if you imagine a woman with a bob haircut, that shelf that comes out from her neck has to be straight and even. It can't have extra hairs hanging out. And this is what I'm doing here, just cleaning that area up. I let the vacuum run the whole time so that I can just vacuum this up really quick, because sometimes she tries to, lick it up and that just makes a mess. And of course, it helps to keep her completely desensitized to the noise and the suction of the vacuum. Here, if you remember when I said that her head needed to be cleaned up on her left side, this is what I'm doing now. And that I'm exclusively using these thinning shears, because all you need to do is just kind of clip the area where her head hair meets with the longer ear hair, and you don't want any kind of cut marks there. So these scissors make that perfect to do that. The combination of the scissors being forgiving because you're only getting, every other hair, and the curly hair, it makes it just so easy if you just have some patience and use these to do that. Came out great.
Good.
Here we're gonna do her nails. I only did her front nails in the video. Sometimes I do her back nails also. She's been on quite a few walks and she pulls, she's not the best on a leash, and that pretty much grinds down her back nails pretty good. But the front ones were getting a little long, so this device is just a battery-powered grinder. It's incredible. It holds a charge for 6 months. I mean, I can just grab it whenever I feel her nails getting a little bit longer. This is the best way to cut dog nails, in my opinion. And obviously she is not really fazed by the noise or the grinding. But you have to remember, I'll do a video on, raising this puppy for the last 6 months. But with every dog that we've ever had, we are very much a touchy family. We touch their feet, we touch their face, we touch their ears constantly. And it just completely desensitizes them to any problem touching anything. And it pays off in a situation like this where she's relatively calm and, trusts us that this thing is not scary.
Well, I decided to take her body down to the next clip level. And the reason is my wife took a look at her, and I agree completely. Her body is too big for her head. Now, I could have left her head bigger, but I don't really want to do that. And, just based on the proportion of her size at almost 6 months, maybe someday I'll leave her body a little bigger if her head grows bigger, but she looks so much better. You'll see at the end of the video, or even at the beginning with the pictures, she looks so much better with a shorter body. Now, I'm cutting off those curls, so her fur ends up looking more like crushed velvet versus really curly, but it's just better for us. The beach, she picks up less sand, she dries faster on the boat, she dries faster when she gets out of the pool, which is constant. And we just like the stocky look that she gets with this size. So anyway, here's me cutting her all over again. I had to just do her whole body right up to her head, her neck, her belly, under her armpits, and then I left her chest kind of full. Of course, I left her thighs and her front legs full, and then you'll see me just kind of blending it so that there's no line between the length on her body and the length on her legs. So pretty much the same process as before. It's actually easier, I think, when I go shorter. The longer it is, the harder it is to blend, in my opinion. But anyway, that's why I had to do her all over again.
Come here. Come here. Okay, okay. Come on, good girl. Good girl, good girl. Good girl. Sit down. Good girl. Okay, stay. Come on. Come on, no, stay. Good girl. You're so good. You are so good. Yes, you are.
So the nice thing about doing this yourself is you can just continue to mess with it until you get it perfect. Remember, she's been cut once, she's been walked, she's been washed, she's been in the pool. So she's pretty tired. And that's when I can really get her to hold still so I can really shape around her jaw, around her ears. And pretty much what I'm doing is those are the thinning scissors, and I'm just giving little tufts of hair a trim to blend it better and just work to get as round of a head as I can.
Hold still. Hold still. Good girl. Good girl. I'm so obsessed. Okay, let's just get your face round. Let's just make your face round. Ready? Ready? Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Sit. Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Sit.
I didn't really notice it here, but that hair that I'm brushing right there, that is the last of her baby hair. And after I took her for a walk, I noticed that it just looked funny. Her tail didn't taper. It almost looked like it had a hump where it attached to her, where the tail, attaches to her body. And so anyway, I bring her back in after a quick walk and clean all that up with the thinning scissors. And I really don't brush her. I don't brush her body. I don't brush her ever, other than at right now. After a bath or after a haircut, I actually don't even really brush her after a bath. I just let her, she doesn't mat. And I don't particularly like that poodle fluffy look. So what I'm really doing is just kind of brushing the hair to see if I missed any little clumps around her face that I can trim up. And then I wanted to fluff out her tail so that I could trim it if I thought I needed to. And at this point, like I said, I didn't think I needed to until I saw her on the leash. And then I bring her back in to get rid of that funny bump.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, 1 second. 1 second, I got the perfect hair right here. Hold still. Hold still. I went to cut the hair. Okay, finished product. Shorter body, longer tail. This tail will, and actually probably, I need to trim this here just a little bit because it's a little thicker right there than the rest of it. But I think she came out pretty darn good. Got a little tuft of hair right here, right there. But the thing about, I've learned anyway, that the thing about a clean dog is they never look the same when they have a couple days on them. So I might trim that right there, but probably not. I left her chest kind of thick. And of course I left her legs thick. And then I blended this so there's no line. And let me show you the gear. So this is a Tech. And it has 4 different clippers. I just use those clippers. I use the shortest one. Stop. I use the shortest one around her face here and her belly. And then I use the longest one on her legs, which I actually didn't trim this time. So that'll be interesting next time. Her legs will shorten up. And then I use the medium one, second to largest actually, on her body. This is, I don't actually use these because you saw me use this, which is, I don't know the brand. I'll put all the links because I got everything from Amazon, but this is the nail trimmer, works great. Battery powered, I haven't really had to charge it yet. These scissors were rather expensive. I'll just put the link below. Stop it. I think it was $100 for these. And this is just the blending scissors. Pretty Stop. You're being a brat. You're being a brat. Stop it. No, we're not doing any more treats. We're not doing any more treats. I'll take you out in a minute. Anyway, I did buy these separately to trim her ears, which you didn't see me do. I just basically grabbed this hair right here. Let me show you. Oh, come here. So I just grab this hair right here with my fingers and I pull it out as far as I can, like that. And then I trim it. And that's it. I don't pluck it because I really do believe that plucking causes ear infections. I already trimmed her hair, her ear hair the other day, so it doesn't need it, but that's how I deal with her ears. And I do it with these scissors, as I was trying to say when she started carrying on. And then you saw this genius Dyson made by Jellyfish blow dryers, the Dyson of blow dryers. But anyway, that's it. Gotta take her for a walk. Yes. Yes, I know. You look very cute now. Lots of lip. Lots of lip. I'll go outside. As I mentioned, once I noticed that hair, I didn't like it. And you can really see it. It makes it look like she's got like a bulge on her tail. So because it's baby fuzz, I decided to just use the thinning scissors, and I turned the vacuum on there so that, because the baby fuzz gets stuck in the scissors. So this way I'm able to just clip it, and you gotta be really careful. These scissors are crazy sharp also, and there's really no meat on her tail. So if you accidentally snip her tail, it's gonna cut the skin. But I really wasn't sure how this was gonna turn out, so I wanted to go slow. Last thing I wanna do is mess her up at this point, but it worked out perfectly. I just
simply thinned out the hair until it was even, got rid of that fuzz, and then her, adult hair is coming through underneath, and it ended up making her tail look exactly the way I want her tail to look. The carrot tail, if you have one of these dogs, you know what I'm talking about. The show standard is that the tail is shaped like a carrot. It's thick at the base and it comes out to somewhat of a point, and it literally looks like a tapered carrot. And I think that looks I just don't particularly like it. I like more of like a Shih Tzu tail or a fluffy tail. So I'm really not sure how long I'm gonna let her tail get, but there's two things about the tail that I like longer. Number one, she holds it up 99% of the time, so you end up with this nice fluffy tail. And the other thing is, she's a girl, and there's not really a lot of girl qualities about her haircut. I'm not leaving her ears longer. That's one way to cause her to look more like a girl, is to leave her ears longer. And she could look like a little boy. So I think by leaving her tail longer, she will look like a girl. And we'll see. But anyway, that's my logic on the way that I'm letting her tail grow out.
To empty this thing, you just pick this up. And this little thing here opens up, and then I just take it outside and I wash this out with the hose. This has a bunch of hair in it. I wash it out with the hose, and then I put it back to dry. There's this filter in here that can also be washed. It's like a plastic kind of paper. It can also be washed and dried, but it generally doesn't need it. It just kind of goes in, and then this is the only thing that really needs to be cleaned. It's super easy. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you allowed to do this? Is this like your thing now? Hot tub wasn't enough?
This is actually the first time she's gotten in the pool on her own. About a week ago was the first time she got in the hot tub on her own, so clearly we're progressing.
What are you gonna do with that? Come on. Is it the duck? Is this what you're gonna do now? All right, well, I was cleaning. Let me put my cleaning stuff down. Okay, are you gonna go get it if I throw it to you? Nope, we're gonna go hide it over there.